Hello, this is Scott Sackett. Thank you for checking out my video. I'm doing a series of videos on how to draw comics the Marvel way. I'm going through the book. The first one was a review of the book. The first lesson was covered the first couple of chapters of the book, and I thought it would be appropriate because I gave Ray homework. First off, let me say thank you to everybody that has reached out to me, has mentioned that they enjoyed the videos and that they're doing the homework. And I thought it would only be appropriate if I shared my homework with you, just to show you that I believe what I'm telling you. And so this is the kind of, we'll call this lesson one, the homework. So I did the other day. Let me find it. Okay, in my sketchbook, I did a drawing of this truck. Now, the thing is, I'm thinking about buying a truck, and so I was looking at pictures of trucks. And I thought I want to draw one. And by the way, I think I mentioned this the first video, but if I didn't, I would encourage you to get a sketchbook. To start keeping a sketchbook. I feel like it's very important. I have multiple sketchbooks. This is one that pretty much stays at my house or goes with me to work. But I wanted to kind of deconstruct this real quickly just to kind of show you. Now, I did, in the video, I did the exercise with the blocks. But I wanted to show you how I would break down blocks into a truck like this. Because sometimes in these videos, they will show you this. They'll go from this, I don't know if you can see, that's pretty light, to this. Now, I think drawing vehicles is a great exercise because it's very challenging to draw. Now, a truck is fairly easy because it's fairly square. The sides, the front, and stuff are fairly square. But I'm going to kind of deconstruct this drawing to kind of show you how I did this and how you can go from this to something like this. Which, and I was trying to think how much time I had in the drawing. I think this is about a 15-minute drawing. It's not super quick. It may be a little bit longer than that. I went in and put some detail like the tire stuff. I'm not going to go into all that, but I just want to show you how. So when you're drawing this stuff, now I looked at a picture, and I do not have the picture anymore. I found a picture of it, and that's a Toyota Tacoma truck. But I found a picture of a truck online and drew it from the picture because I don't know what trucks looks like. Now, a lot of times, and I'm looking around my studio, I don't see one. I drew a comic book that had a lot of cars in it recently. It was issue 4 of my comic book, Heaven's Rejects. Now, I used a lot of Hot Wheels, and I've put them all away because I'm done with the comic. But I have several hundred Hot Wheels that I bought when people were collecting Hot Wheels. And I like using those because you can hold them in your hand, you can rotate them, and you can look at them. Or you can even, as I did in some of the cases, take pictures of them and use that for reference. But a Hot Wheel, because the important thing on a vehicle is getting this right here, that part correct. And what you're looking for, and you can see from here to here, I moved it over a little bit. But what you're looking for when you draw something like this is you want to get this box shape correct. Now this is a truck, obviously, but you're looking for this. Now, I told you that you should draw through on this, and I did a little bit on this. I don't draw through as much because I can kind of tell where stuff is supposed to be. But if you're drawing a car and you haven't drawn a lot of cars, I would encourage you to draw through. So draw this, and then kind of figure out where that goes. You won't see that because of the cab of the truck in this case, but it's good to draw that and then drop a line down and then continue this on over and then continue on there. And what that does is that helps make that car, that box, feel like a 3D object. So then it's an extended cab, and I looked at the picture, and not, like I said, I don't have the picture, I'm gonna look at my drawing. So I looked, and I kind of looked at how big that space was. And so I literally put a box on top of a box. And I looked at the roof line. And again, deconstructing a drawing is a little bit easier than drawing from a photo. But I did the same thing. And you can see here, I even put kind of a line. Now, that top line, and the next lesson, lesson 2, I believe is going to cover some perspective. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in lesson 2. But that top line, the roof line is flat. So you can't really see anything if you draw through there. But, you know, just to kind of give you that idea where that window is. And if you draw this, ideally, this is the hardest, right here is the hardest part of drawing a car. Now, you may disagree with that. You may say, well, drawing the headlights or stuff like that. But if you get this correct, you can get anything correct. So, say you got this. Now, you can see I carried this on down to get the doors, you know, and then I broke this up a little bit to get that. Now, the windshield obviously isn't straight up and down. So I kind of went through, and you can see I started it here, put a line here. And again, I did all this real light. I'm drawing a little bit darker so you can see it. And I'm just using a regular old number 2 pencil here. Pencils don't matter. What matters is what you do with them. A pencil will not make you a good artist. Now, a good pencil will help if you're a good artist, but you're practicing, it doesn't matter. So I pulled that out to give you the slant of the windshield, you know, and then I can put that windshield in there, and then I put the mirror in here. I don't know, remember the exact order. It's not really an order, but the door comes down here. Now, the wheel well, I blocked in the wheel well, and I kind of looked at how wide that distance was, and I just blocked it in with a square, even though it's not square shape. And then that would extend on back, and generally that would be the wheel well would be the same size on the front and the back. On this truck, the bumper is a little bit higher. You know, the back doesn't come down quite as far. So, you know, you put the bumper in there and you get that. The wheel well, because this has like this plastic thing, I just kind of rounded that off. And then the wheels, I even drew now I cheated on this front wheel because I drew it coming towards you, but it looks good. So, you know, but you could draw, if you want to, you could draw. I mean, I would draw the wheels, block them in, and then you come in and kind of make an ellipse out of it. Or you can use an ellipse tool if you have one. And same thing for the back. Now, it should all be in perspective. And I'm going to talk about perspective a little more in the next video. But that gets you that. And then you come in here. And then like on the front here, the grill, there should be like a center. So if in a square or any shape, if you do this, where you draw an X, it'll give you that center. So you can do that. And then you can eyeball it and go, well, that's it in quarters, and that probably is enough to get you the headlights. So you kind of look and go, well, the front of the hood kind of slopes down a little bit, so the headlights would be roughly there. And something else, when you're looking at a car, you're looking at anything you want to draw, look at relationships. For example, look at like the wheel is there. Where is that in relationship to the bumper? So if the wheel well is here and the bumper's here, and if you're drawing it down here and you've got your bumper way down here, you've got a problem. So look at all these relationships, and that'll help you. So, you know, the bumper's about here, and the bumper, of course, goes straight across. And then the headlight, so this is the grill. I'll put the grill in real quick. Here's the grill. And again, it's a little slanted, you know, you kind of round stuff off. Like here, you know, this is not straight up and down on the truck. It slants back a little bit. And then the hood kind of slopes up. It's a truck, so it's a relatively flat hood. And so anything you do over here, you kind of want to do over here. So I kind of went from there. So you kind of go from there to there. And that gives you that. And so you can see, I mean, really, you don't have to finish a truck out to this, or a car or whatever. If you get this, you know, and then you kind of soften a little bit, because it's not quite as blocky as a square. But, you know, and you can see, you're going to see that that's coming out to be a truck. You know, and you could, if you drew this in your sketchbook, and you were to take this and compare it to a photo or compare it to an actual truck, you could see like, okay, does the bed look funny? Is the angle right? Did I catch the angle right? Is the windshield too tall? See, like my windshield's a little tall, so I may come in and scooch that up where the hood comes up. But that's the stuff you want to look at. And like I said, you don't have to go to this level of detail in your sketchbook if you're practicing. For the homework, if you get something to this level that you're happy with, then that's great. I mean, and it can even be from your imagination. Like you could say, well, I want to draw like a traditional kind of police car vehicle, for example. So you might come in here
and draw the front of that rectangle, then draw the back one. You know what? Let's do this. We'll draw it. We'll draw it flying through the air. Or we'll draw it like it's like we're looking down on it. So you would draw like your rectangle. You would draw it in perspective. That's a little off. So you draw this, and then you're drawing the and it's that basic rectangle still. So you draw this, and that gives you the body maybe. And so you go, okay, that looks pretty good. And then you come in here, maybe, and then you draw that cabin shape, I guess. It's a little wide maybe, but you get so this and again, this is where you can fix it easily. You can come in here and go, well, you know, a police car maybe has like a longer hood. Maybe we're drawing like a Blues Brothers style police car with a longer hood. So we'll draw that longer hood on there. And again, this is from my imagination. So, you know, if you had photos, it'd be easier. You're not making it up, but you can make it up and you go, well, it needs a little bit bigger trunk. This is kind of a 60s looking car, 70s looking car. Maybe, you know, it's a 4-door, so we'll put the window right there. Maybe, you know, all the glass is curved, so you kind of curve the glass. And then, and you can see right there in how long I drew kind of just a basic car. And it all really goes back to this, you know, this shape and getting those proportions correct. I have a good friend, Ellis, and he always tells me drawing is measuring. And I believe that's true 100%. So it's good if you have a picture, but it's also good if you develop your eye and you kind of go, well, that first car, I could tell like the hood was a little short. So I went in and made it a little bit better, you know, a little bit longer here, you know, and it wouldn't take much if you're just drawing like a car for like a background. Say you wanted to draw like Spider-Man swinging over some police cars, you know, put your wheel well there, put your tire there, put one here. Maybe it's got one of those half wheel wells like some of those cars had, where it covers half the wheel. Maybe extend that trunk just a little bit. But again, that's where having reference photos helps, makes it a lot better. Having, like I said, I use Hot Wheels, just observing cars around you. Look and see, like, how long is the hood? You know, what's the hood? What goes on in the hood? And you can see, I whipped that car up pretty quick, and that's a reasonable car. You would take a little bit more maybe before it was, we'll say Marvel comic book ready. But this is me doing the homework. And well, I wanted to do a little bit to show you the homework. And I would encourage you to draw the boxes in space. Draw some of this stuff. Use your cube knowledge to build some stuff. I got cars here, but it can be anything. Whatever you want to come up with, I would encourage you to do that. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Again, I hope you get something out of this. Feel free to leave a comment. A lot of people commented, and I appreciate that. A lot of people subscribed. If you're enjoying this and you haven't subscribed yet, please take a second to do that. My goal is to get enough subscribers so I can do some live videos, do some drawing live. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So you guys can watch me draw live. I think I'm going to be working on a new comic book project here in a couple months, and so that would be great. I would definitely love to live stream some of that, but I need more subscribers before I can do that. So if you'll take a second and subscribe, I really appreciate it. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you have a good evening. Keep on drawing and check out my next video, lesson 2. Probably drop here in the next couple days. Thank you very much. Good night.